We're back at the NAL desk with Doe, Jesse, and Jacob, and guess what? It's time to go into what is going to be, no doubt, an exciting series. Oxygen versus Beastcoast. Oxygen obviously been looking really great with the new additions, and Beastcoast has, they've won my award, at least so far, for the most entertaining team I think we've had in NAL so far. The madness, the excitement, the scrappy way that they play the game. Like, they might not win everybody over, but I enjoy watching this team.
It's always a wild card when you see Beastcoast play it. Just through 2 days. That's all we've seen thus far. And their lights out doesn't always result in victories. No. They've had 2 games go the distance. And yeah, there's usually, like, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, this team is quite volatile.
They're unpredictable. Those early rounds are really difficult when you're up against Beastcoast. You don't know what they could be doing because they don't know what they could be doing.
So it's the old, like, if they don't have a plan, no one can anticipate them strategy?
That's all it has to be.
The old APAC 2019 strat, yep.
All right, well, they might disagree with you, but maybe if they win, we'll get that interview. We'll be able to ask. We'll find out. I believe, though, we're going to have the maps in just a moment to see where it is we're playing here. But any predictions before we get into it? Any guesses?
I mean, I think this is a really even map pool. I think that both teams have maps they'd like. Those should get banned out. I think Beastcoast, they're probably looking at maybe getting a Villa in there would be nice. Perhaps a Border. They already won that one so far in the NAL. It's not one Auction's played. So I think there's some nice maps in there. Similarly, Auction have some maps that they'd like. I think Theme Park would be a great one for them. Another one they were able to beat TSM on. Oregon would also be a strong one for them to be able to bring through here. So a couple of maps. It means we're probably not going to end on any of those because they should be banned out.
Hopefully.
By the opposite team. I picked Bank. I think is a pretty even map here. It's one that Oxygen have played a bit through SI, but they weren't super successful at. So maybe it's going to be one that Beastcoast find an opportunity for. But we'll find out. Clubhouse and Skyscraper coming through. That's the other thing is these other couple of maps, Sky, nobody's played so far. The fact that it's the opener ban from Auction means they might be a little more confident in this pool than we see from Beastcoast. Chalet going now. There's the Bank. A lot of these maps that I talked about being strong actually have not been banned out so far, Jacob.
Yeah, so far. Chalet would have been interesting because it's a map that neither team was really that good at, especially from Stage 3 until now. So we're looking for even battlefields here if we can find it. OXG.
They're kind of all banned.
Good cafe team, so it's nice that Beastcoast say, nah, don't worry about it. Villa, another one that I think OXG, no, actually that's not one they're really good with, so they just decide not worth it. So we're left at just 3. Border, yep, okay, we're getting the new ones off the table. There's still the possibility for Theme Park, but OXG won on that from before, and the other option, wait a second, there's no way OXG didn't just win this ban phase, because if it's Oregon or Theme, both of them swing in Oxygen's favor, and they're going with their best map. Since Stage 3, they are 5-2 on this thing. They hardly ever ban it. They have one of the most consistent attacking and defender win rates on this thing. In NAL competition alone, they are usually the Oregon Kings, with the exception of Sonics if they decide to go to it for one stage or another. So, Beastcoast, I don't know how the hell this map ban phase got manipulated like this, but Oxygen are playing you like a really, really good deck right now.
Yeah, I mean, their most played map, you said it, coming into Stage 1, 5 plays at SI is a ton for a single team. And then you look at Beastcoast, I know it's a different roster, 4 different players, but from an organizational standpoint, they haven't won Oregon since December 2020. It's been a while since Beastcoast.
Are we talking SI qual territory?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh my God.
I mean, so what do you gather from that? Is it just kind of like a mismanagement of the bans at the end of the day, or is it something where new season, new practice strategy, you know, maybe they got a plan for the map?
Yeah, I mean, I think that clearly they've been 5 plays at SI is a ton of VOD to review.
Yeah,
I'm sure that they've been looking at that. I'm sure that they've also been practicing the map in the backlines. Obviously, just because the org hasn't won in a long time doesn't mean that this iteration of this team hasn't been practicing, isn't good on it. That said, you know, if they come through and they lose, they're gonna kind of look like clowns. So I hope they've got a good plan.
I'm really just looking at what OXG has been able to do on this map. Like, their production rate has been like astounding by comparison to most of the other maps in their pool. You had a couple of other options I think you needed to ban away, like OXG and Beastcoast. I'm sorry, Beastcoast didn't even play Coastline, but when Coastline got removed, that was a strong map that OXG had in their arsenal, and they still had 2 or 3 other ones that you could have gone to. Now that we've got the pool expanded to reflect something like this, it's really a question of, does OXG want to chance the new maps that we've not seen for a bit, or go back to their old bastions, which is kind of a double-edged sword, because the new maps are new, and the old maps, like you said, there's a lot of footage that teams can go back and review on.
Well, let's talk OXG then for a little bit as they get ready over there in Vegas to play the match here today. Obviously a team that's got a lot of momentum coming into week number 2. It's a team that has a lot of power behind them, both in terms of the 3-man core that made up that team last year and then the 2 new additions, right? It's all been gelling very quickly, very nicely, very strong individual plays from Dream and Newers as well, but it's all about that momentum, though. Can they keep it going?
So far, it seems like they can. Like, the best thing I can say about this team is their mental is incredibly high. Newers has been a brilliant addition so far because this doesn't happen very often. You see Vertical laughing on the sidelines. That is a complete and total unheard of. The man is usually emotionless, doing his job like he can. He had an MVP-like performance back in Stage 3, but it always felt like he was stone-faced the whole time. But now they really look like they're in one another's heads in a good way. The only real weakness I can find in this OXG team is sometimes Newers dying a little bit early, maybe off an entry engagement where he's not traded. Like he can't use the Finka boost if they're on attack. But that's like the only real thing I can say about this team that I'd call a real deficiency.
I think Oxygen, there's 2 big stats that stand out for me from a team perspective looking at their last week. First of all, is their attacking stat, 75% win rate through the first 2 games. And that really is just due to everyone playing the role so well on attack. Newers is killing it on entry. Fox and Vert have some great nades. Laxings is as individual as ever, but he's able to pinch with the team. Dream holds F. They really have been fantastic with that. And it's standard, right? In Stage 3 last year, they also had the best attack in the league, 65%. For context, 49 is the average in the league right now. Wow. So a 75 is pretty incredible there. Yeah. And then the other team stat that I want to highlight for them is their conversion rate. That's win rate with the opening pick, 82% through the first week. And that's a huge change because at Stage 3, it was also really high, 83, incredible. But at SI, it was really bad, 58. That's one of the worst that we've seen.
Well, you know, part of it too, if we can shift over to the player focus, it's Foxe, right, that won the MVP on Tuesday of last week. He's been unleashed like we were talking about in the little pre-show. There he is right there. He can't hear us, but he's smiling. He knows he's in a position to go in there and get the frags like never before.
Yeah, I mean, he knows he was the MVP last Playday, and he's wanted to continue that streak into today. 14-3. And 3-1 on the entry in Playday too. A ridiculous stat line to be able to pull through. 80 cost as well is very impressive. On defense, he could sit in one position like library corner and just tank all of the utilities, still go out for get swings, or he could go for big flanks, really make some moves happen. On attack, he would just take ground for free. Anytime he saw something, he was in there, whether it was mezzanine or whether it was inside of library or down in the bottom floor kitchen, he was in that site, he was taking ground, and nobody could stop him.
I don't want to get ahead of myself, but this could be the best version of Fox that we've ever seen. Ooh, I feel like he's had a lot of chances to flex on a couple different roles through the course of his career, and the way that he was the support backbone for for OXG back at the 6th Invitational lent itself to the idea that the team very much is built around him, his calls, his leadership, and it's nice that he's really flourished in this capacity. And now he's doing this kind of stuff on Sledge and just padding his stats along the way, looking flashy as hell doing it. So Foxe, continue doing what you're doing, man, because it is working wonders for this team right now.
Well, everything smooth sailing for OXG so far in NA, after 1 week anyway, but if anything is going to blow in like an insane, like crazy storm that came up out of nowhere and you weren't expecting and now you got to deal with it, it's going to be our other team in the series. It's going to be Beastcoast. They're getting ready over in Vegas as well. And this is a team where it's like they thrive in chaos, you know? And the player personalities come through in that, and I think it comes through in the maps too.
Yeah, I think so. Beastcoast are a team that definitely can be a little aggressive. I think that really shines in their opening.
A little. You see Drip getting entry kills on Thermite, man?
I did. And listen, that's something that really is going to come in helpful against Oxygen, because I talked about their conversion rate, 82% with the opening pick. Against Beastcoast, that's going to be really hard to find. They have an insane opening pick rate, 63%. That's largely due to Surf, who's been 5-0 on entry, 3 on attack, 2 on defense. He has been incredible in that area for Beastcoast. Obviously, we've seen it from everyone on the team. Drip as well. Sweater, another player that can get a lot of those opening engagements. So if they can keep that up, that'll be huge.
Sweater is a double-edged sword for the squad, and I do think Oregon will be an interesting place to see this because we've known it as a defender bastion map for quite some time. But Sweater, this man will roam deep offsite in nearly every single initial engagement. There was probably one back in that DZ game where he wasn't in the opening fight, which is insane because that went all 15 rounds. This dude will roam with Kaid because reasons? I think the 1.5 on the AUG is a menace, and especially when he's on it. The only problem is when Beastcoast lose him on the roam or they don't waste enough time with it, that can be a huge detriment because they need a little bit more pressure. Sometimes it's just Sweater by himself. Maybe there isn't a buddy system. He can be so far across a map in a basement sub-complex, 2 floors above or below. They still know whatever attacking team is going up against them, they have to clear him first. They usually at least get into that fight. Not a guarantee that they'll win it though.
So is that enough to throw Oxygen off their game? At the end of the day, is that going to be enough?
I mean, I think the auction has some strong players that can try to counter that heavy roam game. You know, Fox can get in with their clears for sure. You can have Vertical pushing in and trying to get some opening picks. But you know what they say, Sweater, he is just better. 85% headshot. We don't talk about headshot a lot in Siege, but that just goes to show you the incredible aim that this kid's bringing in. Obviously, played in Challenge League a couple of years ago, still holds basically every CL record from the history of NACL.
It's him and Young Alec, right?
Highest rated, highest KPR, highest survival rates next to Subarctic, so second there. But still, ridiculous Challenge League stats. Coming in for Beastcoast, he's been just as good. I expect him to have another fantastic game.
Wow. I'll say one thing about Beastcoast. We're heading to Oregon. We understand its attacking issues, or sometimes teams don't have a really good way to coordinate it. The biggest weakness that Beastcoast have had thus far has been trying to hit site without doing a good job clearing either the floor above site or the roamers first. And this is a map where you can't really make that kind of mistake against a team that is very dialed in on Oregon defenses. And we saw that for both games that Beastcoast have played thus far. Sometimes they'll try to do it, not because they can't think of another way to hit the bomb site, but because they want to use the element of surprise and try to hit it as fast as possible. I think OXG are going to be ready for something like that, though. And like this battleground, it's just not the place for Beastcoast to try to flex through what OXG can do here.
We'll find out. Strike hard, strike fast, Cobra Kai way. We'll see if it works for them as well. And let's see if the predictions work out for our casters this time around. We have Intero and Pengu back once again. Pengu, things have been a little bit rough casting-wise, but Intero has accepted the coin into his heart. He's going with, well, I mean, you didn't know what it was going to pick, but it worked out anyway, you know. What do you got for this one, though?
All right, I'll say this. I think BC as a team, they need space to work with. I don't think Oregon provides you with that space. So my heart goes at OXG, and hopefully so does the coin, because we all know, Parker, you win the coin on the same page.
Yeah, Beastcoast can win.
Oh, that fast.
Man, don't do this.
That fast.
We're actually tied up now.
Look.
We're 33% both of us.
Look, yeah, see,
So you had to.
I had to pick the flyer on Astralis, and I got to do the same with Beastcoast. Look, my main man, the man's so nice, they named him twice, Spencer Oliver, /Ugg, Cash Ugg, Slashy Boy. He's in the server, okay? His stats have been quite bad.
And what's your point?
Yep.
Okay.
But he's got Sweater on the team. So that's all that matters. And that's really what it comes down to. At some point, all the fakers who think that OXG are the best team in NA, they're going to be wrong, because OXG is going to lose. And I'm saying it's right now. They're going to go up against the other green team, one of 3 in the league. And I think Beastcoast is going to win. You know, I gotta put my faith in Sweater. I have to.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
You know, I thought I'd see this like tight caster synergy when you got back, but we've had a casting desk divided 2 games in a row now.
I'm a human coin at this
Boy,
point.
1 game in a row. That's true.
I have to be the human coin, Doa.
That's something you.
Yeah, but you're from Canada, so it's like a loon dollar, though.
A loon dollar?
Yeah, you've heard of loon dollars. in Canada?
Loony.
Loony?
Loony.
Well, down here we call them loon dollars.
We made a coin that was worth $2. You know what we called it? A toonie.
Oh, there you go.
We're crazy.
We're all learning a lot once again here on the desk. But there you go. We got our predictions from our casters. Let's see what the analysts have to say. What's it going to be?
I'm glad he brought up Slash, because Slash coming in against his former team, and back when he was on Oxygen, he was a support player, and now on Beastcoast, he's putting up stats like a support player despite being on mostly Zofia. So I'm going to go with Oxygen. That feels like the safer pick here. I've been wrong twice, but it can't keep going this trend.
It's the safer pick, but also the tendencies of both teams just seem to lean in OXG's favor. I'm not going to overcomplicate this one. It's going to be OXG all the way.
I think it sounds right. I think all the choices that have been made have been you know, based on logic, based on stats, based on numbers.
They have been, and then your mystical powers.
What? No, I told you it's not me. I'm
Take
only a vessel.
responsibility
But
for the coin.
it's been 2 upsets today already, and you got to get at the end of the day, you got to give credit to the players. They're the ones who are winning the games here. But we'll see what the coin has to say about this one. It's going to be OXG heads. There you go, and it's going to be tails. Beastcoast. The coin says heads. It says Oxygen will win this map. We'll see. We'll see. Again, it is only an inanimate object. I say it every time because I feel the need to remind people. People hit me up on social media. They get worried about the powers. There's no powers. It's totally random. But you know who does have power? You out there on the internet. You can talk about your opinions on this community poll that we have for you right now. And it is going to be, who would win in a dance battle? I don't read these in advance, I swear. Who would win in a dance battle? Foxay or Drip? You know.
Did you see Fox on the camera the other day?
Yeah, you know, I feel like I would kind of
he was
lean
able
the
to do
Foxay
that,
direction,
but what proof do we have Drip can dance? No, like actual question. Like I don't know how.
Well, you know, if Beastcoast wins, if we get Drip for the interview, we can ask him to dance maybe. I don't know. This has gone way off.
You want to have gamers dance on camera? I don't think that'll work.
That has never gone well.
Fox
in
did it of his
history
own
gaming.
volition last week, and it was glorious. But
Hey, you know, if they bring it themselves, then usually they can deliver. If it's forced, then
exactly.
it's get a little bit awkward. That's right. So before they get too much more awkward, let's go ahead and send it to a break here. Don't go anywhere, guys. When we come back, the map gets rolling here on the Rainbow Six North American League. We'll see you in a few.
All right, everybody, it's time for our third matchup of the day. Two of the three green teams in our league square off for supremacy of the color green, and the other has to change their logo and jersey. I don't make the rules. My name's Intero. This is Pengu, and that's just the way that the world works. Oxygen, undefeated right now. And not just undefeated, but demolishing every team that lays in their way, going up against a new roster in Beastcoast with some familiar faces. Is this the first test for OXG, or do you think this is just business as usual?
I think this will be a challenge to a degree, right? Because BC, they were clocked out by almost every single team going into this. They were ranked at one of the bottom teams, but they've had a really great showing so far. They managed to beat Parabellum, and they put up a max OT game against Dark Zero. So for OXG, it's their chance to prove that they are one of the best teams here. But for Beastcoast, if they can even put up good numbers against OXG, we have to look at them as if they're also arguably in that top 5 position, because they've been putting up great numbers against multiple teams as a new squad.
Slash looks like he's late for taking his kids to like at any moment, he's like, get the kids in the minivan. I don't want to take any longer than we have to. Some tech work being done there on the bench of Beastcoast, looking over at Oxygen. And in the front row, you see Vertical. Newer's right behind him, and then Foxay in the middle. In terms of statistics on this team, their numbers are eye-popping. Coming into today's matchups, and these obviously can change, so we have to take a snapshot before the games are played. Okay. Foxay is the #1 ranked player in the league. Vertical is #2. Newers is #9. Laxing is #1. number 11. So almost 4 of the 5 players in the top 10. That is remarkable stuff. Now, again, it's only 2 play days, right?
Yeah.
You know, we're about to be a third of the way through the stage after today. It's still a very small body of work, but it's been impressive. Oxygen 7-4 over TSM on Theme Park, 7-3 over Astralis on Chalet, and we saw Astralis in action in the previous matchup, and they're not a bad team at all. So OXG taking out the world champions, taking out Astralis. For Beastcoast, this is going to be a hell of a fight. The previous matchups, as you said, were against Parabellum and Dark Zero, and I honestly think Beastcoast performed a lot better for a new team.
I fully agree, but I think the difference is that they played maps, they played Border, they played Villa, Beastcoast that is, maps where you really have space to work with. Find the opening pick, which is what they're so good at. Jacob spoke about it. I think it was 64% opening kill ratio right now going in their favor, and Drip there making the rabbit ears. And I think Oregon just doesn't allow you to do this when you're on the attacking side. It's much more linear of a map, much more all about that crossfire set up for defenders, and attackers have to get crazy and try and break it. So if you're BC, I hope you got some crazy strats, whether it's Osa, shields like Monty, or a Ying, because walking into the bomb side, just guns up, I don't think that's gonna work, especially against OXG, who are very pro-efficient with the gunplay. As you mentioned, 4 out of 5 players basically in top 10. Oh,
This is about as standard as it comes. Nick, we go to Oregon, one of the oldest maps in the entire game, and yeah, it's had some touch-ups done to it, but other than that...
But it's the first Oregon of this stage of NAL, which is actually very surprising because it gets played all the time normally. You know what's nice? The finger ban.
These bans,
That's
yeah,
nice.
absolutely. Beast Coast going off the board to take out Finka, and could we see an equally funky ban on defense? No, it's Valkyrie. Hold on a second.
All right, here we go again. Let me just...
Ah!
Parker,
Oh, sorry.
we got a game to cast.
The Valkyrie ban put me to sleep again.
The final...
Nick,
Sorry, what?
you fell asleep when they banned Mira.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm
there
so
you go.
sorry. That's my
See.
bad. Oregon, OXGP. Yeah, we're still here. All right, Oregon, Oxygen and Beast Coast. First time about to start. We got the Hibana, the Finka, the Valkyrie, and the Mira being banned off the board, which means there it is. Laundry Supply Room will be locked in for our very first opening round between these two teams. It's Oxygen Defense and Beast Coast on the attacking side.
May I read something on the twitter.com?
You may.
Just one second here. I actually need to pull it up. I saw it because we are on a delay, by the way. I would like to pull something up here for you. This is from www.twitter.com
Okay.
from a man named Drew Spark R6.
Okay.
Okay, tweeted this 9 minutes ago. Said, this Beast Coast core is also pretty comfortable on Oregon. To beat OXG, Beast Coast had to play aggressive in the map veto by playing into known quantities. I don't hate this plan, especially since OXG tends to be a little predictable in their veto, but we'll see if Beast Coast can actually convert it. That's the, I believe, the former coach of the Exit R6 squad. I think he's the Valorant coach now. I cannot remember.
I believe that to be correct as well.
Hold on a second.
That is a nasty...
This is Are You Kidding Me, by the
This
way,
is
just in
a
case anybody's curious.
Nico angle from APAC, actually. I don't know what team he plays for currently, but he has some crazy angles that he posts on Twitter all the time, and this is one of those angles. Nikoh, I believe. Nico.
Nico Lol or something like that is his
Something like that.
handle. He was playing for...
A team with Luna back in the day.
It
I'm
was
not
like,
sure.
yeah, he was on like Mind Freak or like Corvidae or something. I can't, oh man, the old Australian orgs. I always forget the names of them. But
It's
anyway.
fair play.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the defense downstairs, Laundry Supply Room being the very first bomb site. Need we remind you, if you haven't seen an Oregon in a while, the 2 most comfortable bomb sites for the defenders is the downstairs bomb site of Laundry Supply Room. It provides you tons of cover and also allows you to roam on the 2 floors above. The other bomb site the teams tend to favor is the dorms bomb site on the top floor for very different reasons. We'll end up seeing that eventually, but for now, let's focus on the basement floor.
Yeah, we saw that 1 minute into the round, soft timer for the side of OXG. Choosing to fall back, drop down the hedge down below. Foxy peeking up the tier 1 stairs on that big tower side of things. But mostly a passive situation for OXG. I do like the fact that they were up roaming early and aggressive, killing half the drones from Beastcoast and slowing them down massively in the process. It's a thermite single heart breach from the side here, which means only 2 hatches out of 3 can be opened up. And normally, this is not the preferred situation. Sure, Kite is open, but so is the Thatcher, which is why Anthony has picked up that specific character, which means that if you picked up the ace or a secondary heartbreach character of any sort, you could have gotten all 3 hatches.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a little bit odd.
The freezer hatch was opened by OHG, so it works out.
To see a single hard breacher on this map, a single hard breacher that is a thermite, and not have that can opener get brought as a secondary gadget is a bit surprising. Anthony, the very first kill, down goes Laxing, known so often as playing on his own, and now it's Newer's next one up. Inside a freezer as the toxic canister goes off in front of him. Baiting out as much utility as possible. This Alibi does not want to give a single inch. That is number 9 rated Newer's going into this matchup. Sweater's position given away by one of those Gushmots thrown out by Foxace. They know that there's a close bit of contact. Nice shot from Newer's on Anthony, but Dream goes down to Drip. Those are the 2 support players doing battle. It's Beastcoast come out on head. Newer's taken out by Nate, tossed out by Surf. Foxay swinging for the fences. Misses an opportunity on to Drip. It's him and Vertical fighting side by side. Number 1 and number 2 rated players in the league. And it doesn't matter because they went up against Surf. And they don't know how to swim at all. First round goes to Beastcoast.
All right, that is a nice aggressive round from Beastcoast. And honestly, what we expect from them, right? Surf has been one of the outstanding players from this roster so far. It's him and Sweater that most people speak of course. Where on the OXG side of things, that nice shot from Newer's, that is exactly what you can expect to see from him going forward as well, because he doesn't seem to miss ever. But a grenade ended his life that round, which means OXG, they go again. They will be one of the few teams so far in this stage 1 of NAL 2022 to repeat the same bomb site when they lose it. Whereas most teams so far, they do that, see what sticks, just go through those motions, all 3, all 4 bomb sites. And they believe, OXG that is, that it was just one of those situations where we lost the opening pick, something bad happened, we're going to try and rectify it, go there again. Foxay played the Ella previously, and now playing the Thorn. They played that same role, they do that same job, but look at the attacker repick right now from BC. They have a different plan in mind. The attacker repicks are going for a blue rush setup. The Lion, the Blitz, the Sophia. This should be a fast one on construction side of things if we just look simply at the operator lineup. Let's see what the spawns are from the side of Beastcoast. They're AFK, they're standing still in spawn. Oh, there we go. Surface moving. Barely.
They're very busy.
So it's a fast round, but a slow round at the same time?
I know that your team perma-banned it, Nick, so let me explain what Lion does to you. So you press a button, and it doesn't matter where you are, Nick. It is a universal ability.
Yep.
And you press a button, and it keeps you pinned down. Now, I know that you like to...
Ooh.
Hold on a second here.
Ooh.
Newer's is really liking this MX-5.
Here we go.
They do too much. They're off to the races, and in comes Surf, and he blinds the smoke. Down goes Dream, as dead as can be. Nitro Cell goes off on the opening. Just in time for that shield to come back up. But Surf has to be very mindful of the player down by Freezer. Newer's fallen off completely.
Here we go again.
The races again. And it's another one to go in, but Newer's cuts down Drip. And Surf is in hot pursuit. The Alibi might be blinded. Laxing creeping on up. Surf doesn't know this because the smoke is cutting them off. A second kill for Surf. And there goes Laxing as well. Anthony getting the diffuser down. Vertical to the rescue. He takes out Sweater, but there's still so much more time to go. Down goes Surf as well. Vertical putting in good work, but now the timer works against him. A final EE1D goes off. No time. Burned, Anthony. Done and dusted. And it's a 1v1. Could Vertical clutch this one? It's him versus Slash. He sees Slash, and he wins it out quite easily. I don't know what he's saying, but you got to get to the diffuser. You're on it. Mouse upside down. Goodbye. Hello. I don't care what you're saying. What an impressive round by both teams. Breakneck speed. And then it's Vertical to save the day. OXG pick up round number 2.
I have to say, with all due respect, it was a wonderful clutch from Vertical, winning every single gunfight 4 times in a row. But it was even more so a ridiculous throw from the side of Beastcoast.
Oh, absolutely.
The blitz swing in the long hallway or freeway, ADS up against the Jaeger who knows he's about to do it, and then you just give them the 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1. So there was no post-plant position, there was no crossfire, there was no collaboration, there was no coordination. It was simply just a round that Beastcoast had seemingly won and then chose to donate that round to OXG instead. So good job, Vertical. You get your stats, you get your 4 kills, but Beastcoast, you could do so much better.
Well, this is one of the things that will happen, by the way, with teams that are still somewhat inexperienced, is that they will have problems.
Have too much fun.
They'll have too much fun, and that was a very fun round. I think it's very safe for us to say that.
Yes. Way too. It was a what we call in rank the dank round. Like Blitz goes in, gets like 2 or 3 kills. Matt, that pre-fire to Lansing in the smoke from Sweater, disgusting, right? And you just laugh off, aha, these guys are getting annihilated. This is so much fun. Then the post-ban happens. You're like, guys, we're still having fun. Let's just swing this last player. And then slowly you go, oh no, oh no, oh we've done it, oh god, and you lose.
There are so many offensive threats on this OXG squad that engaging any of them in 1v1 gunfights can often be to your detriment.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's exactly what happened. Vertical making the rest of the team pay. Nice nade, by the way. Surf was a bit of a question mark when he got picked up by Beastcoast. They thought that there were dozens of other players down in Challenger League that could have very easily filled that role. But just because you are a high-flying performer in CL does not mean anything. Ask young Alec, who is one of the best players to ever play in North American Challenger League, who is currently not playing in the NA League. Sometimes you can do really well in CL, doesn't translate. Surf, the opposite. He was a bit of a quieter player in Challenger League, but oh my god, the impact that he has had on Beastcoast, and is also one of the highest-rated players in the entire league. Right now sitting at 6-1.
Yeah, and I mean, that is essentially why, you know, NAL and CL, they are 2 leagues of their own, because it's not the same thing. And I would even argue that some Pro League players might do worse in CL than they would in Pro Play because of those differences in performance of how you play the game, how you approach the game, your teammates' level, etc. It all plays a factor, of course.
I mean, there have been players who have bounced around quite a lot. They come up to NAL or at the time Pro League. They don't do all that well. They go back down to Challenger League, and guess what? They clobber. They absolutely smurf on them, and they end up leading the way. They come back up to NAL, and guess what happens? They stink again. And that's just the way it works. Sometimes you can beat worse opposition. Foxday was the first one to die way earlier in the round. Since then, it's been a stalemate between these teams, with Surf taking quite a beating. Newer's on this Kaid, and as well, Vertical now playing down below, as Newer's have taken some damage playing on that role. Vertical's really feeling it. That was just an ego peek on the Slash, and it works out really effectively. The remainder of Newer's taken down by Drip. So all of Beastcoast liking to get in on this action. Slash the only one without a kill, and that will continue as he's the only body that has been felled.
This comes down to Anthony. Can he find the opening here with the grenade or the gunplay? Because the big window jump in is the only way into sight right now that is somewhat feasible. But Surf finds one to Vertical. It's a big kill because he's 6-2 right now, leaving 2 donuts on Laxing and Dream to cover the bomb side.
Well, there goes one of those Goyo shields, and another as well. Laxing knows there's one at the window, doesn't want to engage as his sights are set over there. That leaves Dream alone to tend to the family shop.
20 seconds.
It lasts a while, and Laxing gets the run in, or jump in rather, on Drip. Drip's not holding on to that diffuser, though. Anthony is. Fighting from inside of dorms is Dream. And there you go. Nobody's watching.
Anthony.
Again, these mistakes being committed by Beastcoast, capitalized upon by a much stronger opposition. Now it's Surf to clutch, but he doesn't have any time at all. And OXG let the bomb site work in their favor. The second round in a row where Beastcoast had the lead until they didn't.
I think a lot of people like myself have been putting a lot of thought about how strong can Goyo be and on what maps will he be good on. And I think most people come to that same conclusion, that Oregon really favors Goyo's playstyle. And this round is actually a great viewing of that. Lansing popped 2 of the canisters, bought so much time, forcing BC to get impatient, jump in the window regardlessly on Attic, get a freebie, and then, well, the biggest issue from BC once again is that they don't check all their boxes. Anthony started planting with nobody covering him. Surf was smoked off on the white stairs, couldn't swing and contest and to cover the planter, and therefore BC were left with no diffuser inside, had to now play retake. as an attacker to try and claw back the diffuser, and the round goes to OXG. And they're working their way through the bomb sites right now. Basement lost and basement win, Kid storm site, bomb site victory, and now finding themselves inside meeting and kitchen bomb site. And don't be mistaken, it's not kitchen dining, that's a different bomb site, it is kitchen meeting. So here we see a lot of presence normally in like the big tower side of things, whereas in the dining, it's the small tower side of things.
This joint bomb site that goes all the way to mess hall or cafeteria or whatever you want to call it, from a holdover of the old days. Then you got kitchen, and then going into meeting. I like the flexibility that's being brought from these teams. There's been quite a wide swath of operators, especially from OXG, Vertical in particular, off of that Jaeger comfort pick. And playing Mozzie right now inside of Armory, keeping stock of all of the weaponry that's in there. He expends some of his own in that nitro cell that gets tossed out and it misses.
Yeah, I think you give Vertical the best gun that he wants. You say, you know, pick a gun of your choosing and you shall have it, Vertical. 1.5x Roni is what he wants. It's what he gets. And Laxing gets the opening kill onto Slash. That is the leader and captain of the side of BC.
And that's the very first opening pick for Oxygen, too. They have been fighting from behind every single round. And despite that, they have a lead in this matchup. So we'll see what they can do now that they have some breathing room against their opponents.
Yeah, and it speaks to BC's aggression and capabilities of getting the opening kill, but also the lack of experience as a roster to like finalize those rounds and convert that into a round victory. Whereas OXD, much in the opposite. They can play 4v5.
Sweater
that's
dead.
Too free.
Fox A sees him, and it's on the flank. Nobody from Beastcoast seemingly understanding the positions of these offsite players, and OXG are getting away with murder. First with Vertical upstairs, then Fox A. And that was the nitro from Laxing to connect. Beastcoast in bad shape. Vertical losing some of the fortress that he's created upstairs in dorms. Newers is there to quarterback any potential play that we see from Beastcoast, or at least try to stop it, rather. Surf sees one on the top of White Stairs. Not much you can do there. It's Anthony, though, to try and distract, as Surf credited with the kill. So at least one of the guns from Beastcoast hit. 1 minute to go for them to be able to pull off and execute. Drip's the one holding the diffuser.
Yeah, but OXG, they're playing the discipline game, fell off this top floor, but BC still has to drone it out and figure out if there is, in fact, anyone still lingering up above, but there isn't. That means Anthony can now be activated on that flank watch, but all three air jabs have already been used to put down somewhere else in the map. Surf can start slitching the floor, make some vertical, open up lines of sight to help take the bombs. It will be a kitchen attack. There is no chance meeting will be the goal here. That means the kitchen hatch drop is going to be a factor, and slowly BC starts taking control, and OXG are all playing super far back inside a meeting. So that's be a retake here.
Well, we'll see exactly if that's possible. If you're going to retake, you need to do it pretty quickly because you've only got 20 seconds left. Fox A all down below, all lonesome in freezer with Vertical not too far off. OXG are in good position. They've just abandoned the bomb site and are waiting and welcoming this Beast Coast squad to go on in. Nade is cooked improperly. Surf doesn't hit any targets. Dream gets punished by Anthony. And now as the diffuser goes down, you need perfect coverage from Beast Coast. Some denial, but again, there it is. Nobody can stop it. OXG for 2 rounds in a row managed to catch the diffuser and win the round off of the back of it.
So that was really cheeky because what happened was that Vertical was in that 90 corner next to Fox on the freezer stairs. Mount Surf was distracted by Fox inside of the staircase itself. Vert just snuck up past those vertical holes inside of Server and took out the planter at 0 seconds left. And Surf got really distracted, spent his entire magazine floor banging a arguably pointless position because Fox A can't do anything from the freezer stairs itself. Allow Fox A to walk out of freezer, then spend your magazine. Make sure no one walks through that door into Server. That is your job on that vertical play as you're the sledge player. And unfortunately, Surf, well, he didn't understand the assignment. He tried to go for the kill and it cost him the round. And while he is 8-1 right now, unfortunately, those kills are not translating to rounds.
Impactless kills in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways, yes.
I mean, Surf was integral for the very first round, if you recall, all the way back on that laundry supply room bomb site, which is where we're going to go again. Allowed because it's opened back up. And I like both of the looks that Beast Coast have seen on this bomb site. Nick, the second time was when they brought that Lion and they brought the Blitz. And guess what? Most of it seemed to work. The problem was they didn't expect 4 consecutive 1v1s to break in favor of Vertical.
Yep.
and it cost Beastcoast the round. This could be a very different ball game had Beastcoast some semblance of post-plant.
Certainly. I mean, this could just as well be 3-1 in favor of Beastcoast as it currently is 3-1 in favor of OXG. It could have been complete opposite ways. See early aggression again from OXG, challenging in that kitchen area extension with a single wall reinforced. Newers playing that small tower hallway or dining hallway, now playing Freezer Stairs. Has to take out the Gemini clone from Iana. And then once again, one room fallback at a time with each drone killed. Vertical probably going to sit here until he himself finds one more drone as well. No, actually, we'll just drop off. That's only 3 drones killed from the side of OXG. So this time, actually, Beastcoast, they're 25 seconds ahead of the plan. And they got 2 more drones alive than that of the very first round, which they won. So statistically, besides the fact that Vertical is playing in Tier 2 tower, this is looking better for BC. But look at Surf. He's inside of Attic. Might have an idea that there's something going on here. As the first hatch gets opened up, and Foxy actually has managed to hide Tier 3 of Big Tower. And that could be a massive flank potential for him.
Oh, it absolutely could be. Nobody knows that he's up there, by the way. It's very unlikely that you've droned out Tier 3. They know that there's somebody over by Attic, but that's Vertical that's playing that position as well, who's now scooted down to the bottom of those tower stairs. Flores drone goes in, but it doesn't activate fast enough. Newer shoots that before it can take out the shield and will now play a game of Reflex. He was also a Newer pickup that I think a lot of casual viewers are a bit surprised on because he wasn't one of the big flashy names that you tend to see. All that said, 1 minute to go, grenade goes in, and Beastcoast are coming up empty-handed on all of these attempts to punish Oxygen.
Yeah, but actually, while this is happening, Fox has been spotted on that roam, which means that they know now that Foxy could be flying in, so nothing happening just yet, but just the fact that they know that one player's off the bomb site could mean 2 things. Either try and find Foxy first and then go for site, or hit the site directly but feud the flank. And Foxy playing it with that experience that he has, playing it nice and slow, knowing that the sheer factor that he has been found out adds pressure onto the attackers.
Laxing taking some damage, but that's been about it so far. Wait a minute. The execute's happening from the front of Laundry, and they don't know that Newers is still in the hallway. Another grenade gets tossed out, and some damage is done, but Foxy on the flank. He had been hiding in tower for so long, and with 15 seconds left, he comes back. A second kill for Newers, and it's Slash to contend against OXG, and against his former squad, he gets nothing but 1 kill. Unfortunate attempt for Beastcoast. They've now dropped 4 rounds in a row to Oxygen, making me and everybody else who might have said Beastcoast look foolish. But this is just Oxygen doing Oxygen things. Resume Oxygen Reign of Terror.
I really think Foxy being the one to flank there was a perfect player for that, because when you're an experienced player, I feel like you understand the value of staying alive versus actually getting a kill. And Foxy played that middle ground so beautifully. He was standing still, just burning down the time. Then, when Beastcoast couldn't wait any longer, they had to execute on the side. That's when Foxy started flanking again, and he got 1 kill. And instead of taking that second confrontational fight with Sledge, he just 180-degree flicked around, ran up the freezer stairs, let his teammates deal with him as he was trying to chase him down. It was so well played. All of that early extension, the roam from Newers, the roam from Vertical, slowing down Beastcoast. And then sure, Foxy did get figured out, found out, droned out inside a big tower, but he still made it work and gained so much control back with it. And now we're going to see that bomb site rotation back up into Kid Storm is where we're going to go. That's where the Goyo will be activated and enabled once again from Laxing. And Vert is back on that comfortable Jaeger pick, not the Mossy this time around.
Well, you talked about Goyo's effectiveness, and we have another opportunity to see it right in front of our eyes.
So good.
Foxy got picked off in the same spot on Little Tower, with a grenade going in and then the gunfire to follow up. This time around, what have you noticed? Foxy's far more cautious. Yep. Doesn't want to engage on that window just in case, and I can't say it's a bad idea.
No, I mean, your goal here isn't to get a kill if you're Fox, if you're Vertical. It's just to slow down the injury points, kill a drone or 2. And last time, as you mentioned, Fox got taken out. But also that time he swung very aggressively. Didn't play that middle ground as he did before. And now we see actually very aggressive injury video. He could just walk into side if he wants. So there's a Jones who kind of help him and guide him. No one besides Newers could really stop him if he chose to go for it.
He's holed up right now.
They're waiting.
Good patience.
Maybe if Beastcoast had worked out those earlier troll rounds, they would have gone for this aggressive play. But because it did not work now, they're saying, well, this could be a bait. We're going to show our patience and our discipline and just wait for backup, wait for information, wait for that execute. But so far, Beastcoast are working kind of slowly because they haven't gotten much ground. We're all kind of fishing for the opening kill.
Taking their time again. Beastcoast have not used their timeout just yet. They do have a coach. It's Mark the Shark, who stands behind them. As you can see, former player himself, and I believe that's one of the Goyos that are now down. Another Flores drone will go in, and an explosive demise of those gasoline canisters could be happening yet again, but he's just using all of these Rotero drones, it looks like. Slash sends it off, and it should blow up as well, unless it got shot away at. I think Dream might have actually shot it. First kill goes to Foxy, shutting down the best player from Beastcoast, and that is Surf. The rest of the team, by the way, has a combined 7 kills to Surf's 8. Sweater's down as well. He's a looming threat. A nice nitro cell from Foxy, tossed out, caught quite unwillingly by Beastcoast. Leaves just 45 seconds left for this demoralized Beastcoast team to pull off and execute.
I'm curious the plan here isn't BC because jumping in the big window is not going to work out. We got Foxy Vert with Crossfires. The refrag should be coming out, but actually Vertical finds Anthony instead, leaving up Drip down below. Now Vert has the diffuser, gets the kill as well, and the diffuser case.
Oh, and the disrespectful wag of the mouse as well leaves Slash outside. The supporting cast of Beastcoast is not usually the star of the show, but because of the entry work outside of Surf not being quite strong enough today, it leaves that supporting cast to just wither at this point. First half is in the books, by the way. If you're a fan of Oxygen, you are probably stoked. It is 5-1 in favor of OXG, and they are making very quick work of Beastcoast.
But that is also Oregon defense against an inexperienced Oregon attacking team, so I don't know if I can say that we're surprised about these results, but I will say, now that we saw exactly how to play it out, it could have been a different scoreline for Beastcoast if a few things, tiny details, had just gone in a different direction. But either way, I will say, despite the scoreline being 5-1, Beastcoast looks a lot better. Think of this as a 3-3 scoreline in reality. Or not in reality because it's not real, but in theory, whereas in reality it is indeed in 5-1. And we see now, Parker, who would win in a dance battle, Foxy or Drip? What did you guys say? It better be Foxy.
What did you say, Nick?
Foxy, of course.
I said, who cares?
Oh.
I don't want to see them dance.
You didn't see like those moves he had last Playday?
I don't want to see them dance.
They were pretty...
I want to see a rap battle.
Oh, now that's content.
Foxy versus Drip. Who wins in a rap battle? That's the real question.
That's the next vote.
Do me a favor, at R6 Esports NA, and tell them, just at them, and just tell them who you think would win in a rap battle, Foxy or Drip. One of the two. I mean, somebody's got to win. Go on twitter.com, https, www.twitter.com. There you go.
What about the dots in between? I don't think it works.
Just type it all in.
Okay, sure.
Type it all in.
I have it bookmarked, so I just click that small tweeto icon, top left.
www.twitter.com.
Yep. Not just gonna work either way.
Can we talk about this Tachanka pick, by the way?
Oh, about circuit the kill here.
Hold on a moment.
Instead.
Vertical on Ayana, that's the real deal, baby. No Gemini. Easily played off of by Surf. And at that close range, the Scorpion... Don't really need to worry too much about the recoil on it, but it does defang a huge part of this bite that OXG has on attack.
It does. And sure, Tachanka, you mentioned it briefly. I don't really see anything crazy. I'd rather see the Goyo. Sure, you don't get the deployable shield, but I already got 2. You got 1 on Smoke, 1 on Ella. If you're like a third, it's almost like having too many deployable shields in one position, especially because the grenade lineup from the attackers is, those 4 or 6 grenades, and OXG, they're playing 4 frag grenades, 6 stun grenades, and they can do a lot of damage with that. Sure, Vertical's off the board, so 2 grenades do go away, and so does that 1 gun 6 from his pocket, but Foxy still has 2 to use on his own accord to try and eliminate those player positions that have been reinforced by those deployable shields. It's going to be a troublesome attack. If you're XG, you're pretty much forced to go front side here, maybe drop a player on the backside stairs, backside hatch, but unless you find at least 2 opening kills on the initial entry, this is going to be a disaster of an attack, most likely.
And there the Shimikas go as well. Those Molotovs shot out from the launcher of Tachanka on a unique angle. leading into Freezer, but still a miss. And this is one thing that we've been critical of teams before, Nick, is the lineups on these Shumika launcher shots. They could be a little bit better. As could Dream. He's now been taken out by, again, Surf. Breaks double digits, the first player in the lobby to do just that. That leaves OXG in a much tougher spot, as you talked about. This is going to be quite a challenge for them, but the take is still over towards the Freezer with Laxing and Foxay working side by side. Newers is off on his own at the bottom of Laundry Stairs. Diffuser is down. Nobody's holding on to it because Dream was punished. And there's the Toxic Canister to do some damage while it's the Shumika launcher to take out Foxay. Newers 1 kill, but it's a triple for Surf before Laxing says it's enough. Take a seat. Let's show you how the old boys do it. 3 kills to be found. Still got another old boy on the team in Slash as well. Proximity alarm goes off, and behind the shield, there's Laxing. There was 2 players from Beastcoast, and it's Sweater the one to get the kill. As they work together to do just that, they deny OXG match point. Beastcoast still have some life in them as they pick up round number 2, and it's their very first round on defense going into the win column.
Yeah, that round was especially one off the back of Surf, right? The opening pick onto Iana, vertical, that's a massive one. Then finds a second kill as well onto Dream. That's the Diffuser case down on bottom Laundry Stairs. He breaks double digits, as you mentioned, with the Ella Scorpion on actually a seemingly long distance gunfight on that basement engagement at least. And that is pretty much all you need when you're defending. A kill or 2 in the early phase really seals the deal, because then all you need is that established crossfire, which is so easy and natural to come by on Oregon basement because of how the bomb site is broken down into a majority of like long hallways and single or doorway and entry point for angles. And Kid Storms, a little bit different. You got the attic, you got trophy, you got the closet rotate, you got, you know, big window, white stairs, Kid Storms rappel window. You got so many different ways in through the bomb site, so it plays out significantly different than basement does if you're playing 4 versus 5. So now XG, you can afford to lose a player, of course, but in a perfect world, you wouldn't want to do that regardless of how much it favors or disfavors you. Slash, the old man, as you mentioned, actually on the young gun Ella operator now, if you will, and it's an operator that we see more and more of in recent time, especially on Oregon. Actually, Brazil kind of played it first. They played Ella shotgun on basement. You held down the staircases with great effect, but then the Ella shotgun nerf came in a few months ago at this point, and now we see the Scorpion being brought out again, which is one of those weapons where either you love it, or sorry, either you hate it or you dislike it. There is no love for that weapon, unfortunately.
All right. I'd like to remind you all that no team has taken a timeout just yet, so if things go bad for either auction, if they start to lose a couple rounds or Beastcoast ends up getting put on a match point, that's when you're likely going to see them get brought out. Both teams have their coaches behind them. Hopes standing behind Oxygen. Mark the Shark behind Beastcoast. He'll take a timeout when he smells some blood in the water. That Pentaskin was never released, by the way, on the SMG-11. I saw somebody ask about it on Twitter. It was supposed to be, as far as I'm aware, but then I believe Penta dropped their roster, so they didn't get access to the skin, which, of course, happens.
It does happen.
There have been teams who have left the game and their skins get removed. This is a nice nade, and it...
Oh,
it works!
I didn't think that was going to kill him.
So does Foxay's. Both Anthony and Drip are gone. Dream is getting the diffuser down. There goes Surf Slash with the only kill for his team, and he'll need more than that, and he does it. 2 kills, and the diffuser surrendered as well. Exceptionally well played by Slash. Old man can indeed shoot back, but he gets bucked from below. And boy, he really was bucked in that situation, if you know what I mean. 6-2 for Oxygen. They move to match point.
What an incredibly fast round. Also, not only did the grenade on the player on Kid Storm's hatch kill him, which I thought it wouldn't, but also the second it blew up, another one from Vertical got tossed out as well, making that 2 grenade kills in the same frame, essentially, on your screen, and that round ended very swiftly. A little bit of surprising that Dream was trying to plant with, at no cover as everybody else from OXG was downstairs, but other than that, it's a clean sweep, almost a flawless round from the side of OXG, and Beastcoast, they say, that could have been, that could have gone better. And it's one of those situations where if you're standing still on side, you are going to get grenaded vertically. So extend down below, get out on that map, go and get active. That's what OXG was doing so well, and it's what you have to do too. You cannot just play a default Oregon in today's era of Siege. You're gonna get blown to pieces, and there are so many different ways of picking up that bomb site, especially when you have somebody like Laxing on the buck. It adds a whole nother layer to your attacks where you can go below inside a kitchen, do the vertical play, and now we also do see BC making their vert of their own, extending downstairs in kitchen, reinforcing of that single wall, and playing inside a Kid Storms once again. So we'll see if they can now change up the early rounds, and hopefully that will translate to the mid-late round for them as well.
Guess what they didn't do?
What didn't they do, Parker?
They didn't take a timeout.
They didn't. No, they didn't, because they think they got it. Do you think they got it?
I don't know if they got it, but they didn't take a timeout. They could have taken a timeout.
They could have.
Why do we keep talking about timeouts, by the way, for those of you that are curious? Because they usually have a very good success rate. What we saw back in match number 1 was Mirage took a timeout, and they didn't win their first round. Newers just got the very first kill, by the way, on the Surf, so this could be the beginning of the end. Sweater's there, a fire away, and they almost get him. Some damage done to the heels of Sweater as he runs and will now seek safe refuge down below in Freezer. Cool his heels, if I can use such a pun.
Oh, this nade could be lethal. He doesn't go for it, though. Goes to reload instead. But Anthony was there holding down the vertical holds. And I'll say Newers. Whenever we spectate him, I actually quite enjoy the mechanical skill on this player, the way he goes about his mobility as well. I almost want to say he doesn't have that much wasted movement. Everything is made with a clear decision in mind, but this skill is so free for Laxing unless, no, Slash will become a freebie as Laxing, he can rat out the rat because he knows that position oh so well himself. Sweater has to go absolutely massive. Sees the gun barrel, but it's not enough. Newers, he finds him instead.
Well, maybe I was the faker because this one is just about over. It's all but the crying at this point. Anthony and Drip against all of the might of OXG, and they have fired up that war machine. A triple kill for Newers as now Dream gets the diffuser down. Ooh. And a nice shot from Drip, but will that be it? Some damage? Diffuser down, time running out, and Vertical's just going to take the damage through the Surya Gate. He doesn't give a gosh darn hoot. Sorry for swearing. OXG 7-2. The score lines are just getting better for OXG. Match 1, they beat TSM 7-4. Match 2, they beat Astralis 7-3. Match 3, they've now beat Beastcoast 7-2. Next match will be 7-1, and then it's going to be 7-0s for the remainder of the stage. What a start for this new squad. When they picked up Dream and Newers, they went on and said that this was a better iteration on the roster than when they had Kino and Yaga. Some thought that it was just copium. Hold up. Just take a hit of the copium. But no, they really do look like a well-oiled machine and are indisputably the best team in North America right now.
Yeah, that seems to be the case right now. And, you know, BC, they could put up numbers against Dark Zero and, you know, Parabellum, but they could not do that up against OXG. Not quite. A lot of close rounds there. The rushes, the aggression almost worked out for them, but then the lack of experience and discipline kind of showed in their gameplay, and OXG, their experience showed through. Vertical himself, phenomenal game. 12 kills, I believe, to his name, and playing phenomenally time and time again.
It was one thing we talked about in the Mirage match earlier today. Win, lose, or draw, they're a new roster. They've got a lot to learn. Astralis still finding their pieces of the puzzle. Beastcoast is in absolutely the same category, but I just gotta say, OXG just continue to impress. They continue to surprise. They have often lived in the shadow of the giants of North America. Space Station, of course. The Sonics lately have done great. But other than that, we got an interview for you, but before we get there, we got a break lined up. We'll see you in just a couple minutes.
Tell me what you learned in grade school. Give it to me like you want it. Did you forget that code? Why is our love it one-sided? It should really be give and take. Fill you up and leave me empty. Baby, was that my mistake? Covering his feelings, going through changes. I'm just so mad right now, I can't even think straight. So I'ma just tweet it and delete it, knowing you won't read it. Before we get too far away, I need to clear my mind. I'd rather just read.
Okay, this for the time, got time for no day. War. Too many ongoing, too crazy, and I got bad ones and they ready. A good time, so now it's into it, we left at. Can't remember anything, but I know we got lit. Good times, live in the moment, feel like summertime. Obsessed with nature, not a world mine. The room is spinning, but I feel fine. Oh my. Chandelier, limousines. Really think I'm seeing things. Read the line in between. Yellow light, I gotta speed up. Get home to a cold shower. Need that pronto. Look like a rave at the condo. Heck of a night in Toronto. She said, boy, you in Morocco. Pearl white mention in the top gold. Fill up my cup with the pop, whoa. High off life in the spot, though. Running up the visa, really talking to a real life Mona Lisa. Jesus pieces hanging off the fleecer. So much going on, it's hard to focus on the features. I got too many, I'm going. Too crazy, and I got bad ones and they ready. A good time, so now it's in the whip we left at. Can't remember anything, but I know we got lit. Good times. Live in the moment, feel like summertime. Obsessed with nature, not a world mine. The room is spinning, but I feel fine. Oh my, oh my. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Welcome back to Rainbow Six North American League. Hello, everybody. I'm Doa. That's Jesse. That's Jacob. And guess what? We got Laxing with us all the way from Las Vegas, tuning in. Well, not tuning in, beaming in. I don't know, electrifying in, whatever you say. It was an electrifying match of Oxygen. Laxing, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing really good. So congrats on the third win already. So as one of the returning players on Oxygen, did you think the group would gel as fast as it had with the addition of Dream and Newers?
Yeah, this was 100% expected. No matter the roster change, it's always the same goals. It's to be a top contending team no matter what. So if a hiccup comes up, it is what it is. We're going to push through it, and we're going to make sure whoever is brand new on our team is going to be up to speed, and that we're going to be performing at the top level that we can.
Laxing, it felt like the map ban phase was pretty good for you guys today. You ended up with a choice between Oregon and Theme Park, both maps that you really like. What's going on with your map pool this season so far? Because I had expected maybe with Coastline leaving the pool, you guys would struggle a little bit, but you still seem like you have a very strong pool.
Yeah, well, Theme originally was one of our strongest maps back then before they removed it. So that being now brought back into it again, definitely, you know, solidified a strong showing for us, just even in the TSM game. So our map pool now, and also with Newers and Mitch, or Dream, it's definitely, I would say, increased our map size as well in terms of our flexibility, how we can play them. So I would say with this specific roster, this is the strongest that we've been across the majority of the maps.
Nice.
When it comes to the way both Dream and Newers have come into the lineup, give me like the now 3-game status update, so to speak. Obviously, the results do speak for themselves, but behind the scenes, obviously what we've seen from Newers when he's on like his own Twitch streams, like dancing and whatnot, it feels like the vibes are always very high. But what's it like behind the scenes for people who might not know?
I mean, behind the scenes, it's a lot of joking around. There's a lot of friendly banter. You know, we always try to keep the vibes on OXG pretty friendly and pretty, you know, making fun of each other, roasting each other, just having a good time overall, making sure everyone's having a good time. So that hasn't changed from roster to roster. I would just say this specific roster gels better in terms of maturity, in terms of just overall, like, understanding the style of how we play and how we coordinate with each other, and just overall the experience outside of gaming is just as good as it is inside.
So I suppose that kind of thing kind of translates into comms as well. One last question before we let you go. So how has Newers been doing as far as the comms in game goes? Has been how much does he contribute versus how much does he kind of listen and follow the other players' calls?
I would say he's 100% on both sides of it. He listens very well, and he also calls, which is also extremely important. And that's something that but our team tries to focus on. No matter if you're new talent or not, we give everyone the same amount of respect in terms of, you know, if you see something, call it out. If you want to try to make a play, call it out. Like, at least give us inform. You know, Fox is the main IGL, and we are listening throughout rounds.
Right.
But even with new guys like Mitch and Ethan, they do have a say, and if they see something, and both their comms have been electrifying, and along with everyone specifically.
All right, interesting. Always cool to get some insight on that side of things as well. So thanks for sitting down and chatting with us. Thanks for taking the time. Congrats again for the win,
Also,
and
check out
good
this
luck
merch.
tomorrow.
Check out the merch.
It's beautiful.
Gotta
beautiful.
plug yourself, man.
Yeah, okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Subtle.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Take care.
There he is.
All right, there you go, Laxing.
homie.
Great Rainbow Six Siege player and wonderful businessman as well. There you go.
He's got to throw it in there. I was surprised.
yeah.
Wait, did Fox do it back when he had the interview from a couple weeks ago? I don't remember if he plugged himself.
I think he might have mentioned it. I think he.
Maybe.
I'm trying to. That was so long ago. Does anyone remember what happened a week ago?
No.
Nah.
No, it's a blur.
Somehow not in my memory.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like I saw someone different standing there. I can't remember. Yeah.
To be fair, this game I also don't remember because it was over so quick.
Yeah, that's true. This was a blink and you miss it for sure. But let's break it down a little bit. Obviously, is one-sided in favor of Oxygen. A lot of people expected that coming into it. But let's see what the numbers really say for that, Jesse.
Vertical deserves MVP of the day. I know we got 2 more games. I don't really care. I think Vertical needs it. 12-3, 89 cost. I mean, this man had an incredible start to this, especially on defense, and every single kill was impactful. I felt like he was always the one flanking to deny that plant. He was always the one clutching up, or he was holding an important position, denying a ton of time on the roam. Vertical absolutely stole the show today, and he played so well.
This is Beastcoast's first loss of this magnitude, but in spite of that, it's actually proving Drip's interview right when he said Surf was one of the most mechanically gifted players he's ever seen. Surf was actually doing what we were touting Sweater as doing before, being in numerous entry engagements and still having a decent, he was positive on the conversion rate for it, but he still also had a very nearly a 2.0 KD, and his team still kind of got slapped around. I would love to have seen Sweater get activated more on defense, but because OXG themselves were the ones that started on D, it felt like there was never a chance for Beastcoast to get going on this map.
I was keeping track. I said at the beginning of this game, Surf 5-0 on entry. After round 2, he got it 6-0. After round 3, he got it 7-0. Fell off a little bit. Unfortunately, broke his streak of being flawless, but still very nice on Surf's entry.
Yeah, I mean, with Beastcoast, it really does seem like it's just kind of a matter of finding a way to take these individual performances and giving them the synergy, making it into more of a team thing. A little bit less chaos, a little bit more organization. But let's talk about some individual rounds here. The first one we're going to look at is round number 2. Going back to that vertical MVP bid that Jesse is putting out there, round 2 is kind of like maybe the clip you'd show if you wanted to kind of make your best case.
I mean, come on. This is such a hero play, Jacob.
Yeah.
This was so nice.
No, I mean, because we're hearkening back to the days of Spirits doing this exact same thing where you play Blitz in elbow. Oh, man, most of it's already happened at this point, but not only does Vertical stop the Blitz right here as he comes up at ADS's, he's now got superior positioning on both remaining members of Beast Coast, and it's just a matter of timing. It's who goes where at the right moment. Vertical already on point. He now understands there's only one player left to find, and this came after a split-second execute through elbow, playing Blitz and just trying to force the issue, and all of a sudden, Beast Coast allowed this one to get away from them, and Vertical gets a quad.
And the experienced Rainbow Six players are going to say, well, Beast Coast shouldn't have given them so many 1v1s. They should have traded, and they're right.
Naturally.
They're right.
Beast Coast could have handled that way better, but you can't take away from Vertical. He still had to hit every single one of those shots, play perfectly with his positioning, and that was still a really impressive clip.
Yeah, got to be elusive, got to get the kills. Speaking of getting the kills and being elusive, our next clip kind of goes into that as well a little bit. It's from round number 5. We talked all about, I think one of the themes for Oxygen is Foxay Unleashed, and this was a great example of that, wasn't it?
Yeah, Fox, I think other than Vertical, probably had the second most impactful first half. He did so many nice flanks. This round 5 is probably the nicest that he had. Coming down 12 seconds on this clock when he's escaping. He probably came down around 15 on the clock. That's really late. And if Beast Coast had actually pushed a little earlier, he might have struggled. He got 2 kills you saw on the kill feed there right afterwards. So, this is an area where he's coming in very, very late, risking it a little bit, but because it's Oregon basement, they're going to be pushing really, really late just because that's how the map works, and it's a very slow map to try to get into. And so he's able to come down Freezer at that time. He's able to get a couple of kills and have a huge impact on the round overall. So he did that a couple times, but that was probably my favorite.
And even the stats don't necessarily show it, I felt like it was still very Yeti-like with how, one, late these flanks are coming through, but it's also, he's not getting droned. He's playing in a spot where he understands no one's going to do a double check on. He'll make the late flank up a route. The attacking team either isn't going to clear or has already cleared and thinks it's probably no danger because we're pushing down a different avenue. Instead, he will show up right behind you, and we talk about him being a great sledge player, but what he's doing on defense also also shouldn't be understated. Didn't have that many kills today, but still, when he did, they were huge.
It's impressive stuff. You got the enemies too running around. They're like, is that a delicious blooming onion? No, it's a razor bloom shell, and it's gonna kill you.
God.
It's terrifying stuff. It's terrifying.
Wait, bloomin' onion, that's Australian, right?
No, it's like from that one restaurant. They fry like the onion and
Right.
little
Outback
things, or-
Steakhouse, the Australian restaurant.
I didn't know. Well-
She's Irish.
Oh, but that doesn't mean you can't. They probably have them in Ireland. I don't know.
I'm just looking for the thread.
I've never been to
Ireland.
Ireland. Do they have those there? Who knows?
Good
They probably
question.
have better food.
Any Irish fans watch the NAL? Please hit my DMs.
We're never going to get a sponsorship from them now. Oh, well, what can you do? We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the battle of the O2 Sonics versus XSET. Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. We'll find out who it's going to be when we come back here on NAL.